Hey guys, so today we're going to jump into the World Championship LBR qualifier thing that's going on right now. The way this works, well, I guess before we talk about that, we should just talk about the team that I'm going to use. We're going to use Frieza Saga. I think it's the best team in the game. I already have the team made. I did my God rank grind with this team last season. Just going to use this team again. Whatever. I think most players are probably going to be using some version of this team, or I actually do think there is another contender for best team. I don't think it is the best team, but I think it's close with Super Vegito, but I'm not going to say what it is right yet. But Super Vegito is very good. I think he's better than most people think he is. But this team I'm going with, not going to explain everything. I think I've explained everything at length in that last God rank grind video. So if you want to get a more in-depth explanation of how the team works, go check that video out. In terms of this season here, let's go over and check the news, and it'll be in here. Here we go. So, I hate this system. I've hated this system for years. They've never changed it, and it's continued to be bad. I mean, that's just the way the system is bad. They don't change it. It's not going to magically become good. Okay, it's just going to be bad forever, I guess. The first preliminary, first stage session A is here. So the way that they do this, if you guys are not familiar with how LBR works, every day you log into the game, you get 3 tickets. You can use those tickets to play one match, and whether or not you win or lose, that ticket is consumed. And then throughout the day, they actually change this, I guess, because usually the LBR slots are 4 hours slots. These are 2. So we have 3 slots throughout the day that you could play this event, play these preliminary matches. It's these 3 slots here. So you really only have 6 hours throughout the 24-hour day where you could even play this, which is it's just asinine. It's insane how bad that is. But that is the system that they have. And if you go to the menu and go to the PvP screen and go into the actual LBR season itself, it lists the times and tells you when the next slot is going to be. So yeah, you just use the tickets, you participate. There's 18 total matches for this first preliminary. You get 3 per day, so it's going to take 6 days for you to get the total amount of tickets that you need to do all the matches. In this video, we'll be doing the first 9 matches, so I'm going to split this up into 2 videos. I think that's just better than having it all be in one video. It's going to be like an hour and a half long or something. And I am going to be doing this in the same the same way that I do the same style that I do the God rank videos, where I'm going to record the matches on my phone, screen record them, and then I'll just put my voice in afterwards. And the reason why is just because I can't always be at my setup to record during these specific time slots. Like they expect you to revolve your life around this game. 2 hours like per every 12 hours is insane. Can we get like better slots than this, or just make it just have no slots? Like I don't really get this battle time system. It's horrible. So I recorded most of these matches like on the train. So just a reference there. So yeah, you do the matches. You have no current rules for this, so there's no limits on the type of characters you can bring. There's no special rules, like you get extra strike damage with Frieza Saga characters. There's nothing like that. It's just a free, open, even playing field style here. Aim to make it to the second stage. Second stage entry requirements place in the top 5% of players. The players with the most Battle Royale power at the end of the event will proceed to the second stage. You get 500 Battle Royale power every time you win, and I think you lose 500 every time you lose. If Battle Royale power amounts are equal, players will be ranked and selected using the following criteria listed in order of importance. Players with more wins, and then players who inflicted more damage. So it's just RNG, 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 RNG. And then you can actually check the standings. If you go into the list, there's like a listing of all the standings there. There are also missions associated with this. If we go over to the missions tab here, still doing my dailies today. There's a bunch of missions which just basically gets you these medals, and if you go over to the exchange shop, there is an exchange shop for the medals, and you can get the card sleeves for Shallot, you can get a background for Shallot, and then this is a black version of the background, and then there's also other stuff here you can get. I'm definitely going to pick up these, and so I might as well just buy these now, why not? I already have 9 of these medals, so I'll just grab this, and then grab this, and there we go. Those are the cosmetic items. So let's go ahead and just jump into the first match here. I am going to list out just a list of reasons as to why I think this is a terribly executed event. I've been talking about how LBR, the LBR system how it's been horrible for years now, and again, they just refuse to change it. So I don't know what to tell you. It's gonna remain horrible. Like you can't improve a mode if you don't change it after most people would agree that it is horrible. So we're gonna jump in, and I'll just kind of talk over the footage that you see in the background. But let's go. The World Championship Legends Battle Royale Qualifier A session. All right, so here we go with the first match. I'm actually not entirely sure how matchmaking works in this mode. I assume it's independent of standard PvP matchmaking. Like, I don't think, like for example, if you were a God rank player and you queue up into this LBR season, I'm assuming it doesn't take from your ranked PvP matchmaking and use that as a way to determine who you get matched up against. I would hope that's not the case, because that would heavily put actual like highly ranked players at a huge disadvantage. And I don't think that's the case, because I mean we are fighting someone like this in our first match, but you'll see later on in this video we actually get matched up against some pretty good players. That also is another thing I'm going to talk about too. But there are multiple reasons why I think this system is actually horrible for determining, the quote-unquote world champion and qualifying for world championships. And they obviously have recognized this, because they've split this up into 3 different qualifying sessions. So remember, this is not the only way to advance to the next stage. There's going to be 3 different qualifying rounds. This is just round A, there's going to be round B, and there's going to be round C. So if you don't make the cut after this round A, so the first 18 matches, I think they said in September or August, I think it's August, there's going to be another one, and then in September there's going to be a third one. So you actually do have 3 chances to qualify. And they also said that once you qualify, let's just say, for example, you qualified in this round, in round A, you would not participate in rounds B or C, which would theoretically make it easier for other people to get in the later sessions, if like the players who are winning more are getting in and locked in first. So they've, if they only made it 1 round, because if you guys remember back to the very first time they ever did something like this, which was the showdown in Las Vegas, like this, look at this. This is our second person we're fighting, and this is their team. Like, this is a pretty good team, dude. If you remember back to the first anniversary showdown in Las Vegas thing that they did, that was a one and done system. You played 18 LBR matches. I'm pretty sure the way it worked is you played 18 LBR matches, and like that was essentially the entire thing. Like, it was whoever went undefeated 18-0 in that LBR session essentially just moved on to the next round. So at least they are giving out more chances here, and the reason why is just to avoid a lot of RNG. But there is, of course, tons and tons and tons and tons and layers of tons of layers and layers of tons of RNG. Look at this. This guy leaves. Okay, I might as well discuss this now. I have this on my list of issues with the system. Notice how this guy DC'd, but look how the bot is playing. This is not traditionally how a bot is programmed to play. So what they've actually done here, and this is mind-blowing to me, this is probably the dumbest thing they've done this entire year. And they've done a lot of dumb stuff this year, okay? This might be the dumbest thing they've done in this year. They intentionally went in to the code of the game specifically for this mode, and they reprogrammed the bot AI to act like the God Challenge AI. If you guys have not played the God Challenge mode, you'll know that the bots in the God Challenge mode are significantly more annoying to fight against than typical bots, because they try to quote-unquote emulate the play style of God rank players. That is what this is right here, right? So this guy clearly DC'd. We saw the loading symbol at the bottom. I think sometimes there's actually times where that doesn't 100% guarantee somebody DCs, but this is clearly not the same person we were fighting earlier. So they intentionally went into the game and redid the AI of these bots to be the God Challenge AI. Float back to long range, PVU, charge step when they combo. Like, it is horrible. It is so annoying. And they thought we wouldn't notice, by the way. Like, they did this. They didn't say this anywhere in the news. They didn't say, oh, if your opponent disconnects, the AI opponents will be a little bit more tough to deal with. That's not anywhere. This is a shadow change. I have no clue why they would do this. If your opponent rage quits in the middle of the match, like this person rage quit, and you'll see later on we actually fight somebody else who rage quits, and the bot is like worse to fight than the actual player is. So this is like a horrible, like actually like brain deformity level change. This is beyond stupid why they did this. I have no answer as to, if you ask me why they did this, I don't know. My answer is because they're dumb. I don't know. I have no clue. So this is a terrible change. And then, I mean, if we just go through every single layer of RNG that's associated with a system like this, obviously we could just talk about the amount of RNG that is in the match itself. You know, Rising Rush getting guessed, feints happening with Namek Goku, AoE greens, like maybe you just don't play around your opponent having an AoE green every single time when they hit you with one. Maybe your opponent is just like spamming death beams with full power freeze, he catches you on a sidestep or something. Like, there's a million layers of RNG in this game. Please do not take this game seriously. This is not a competitive game. This is not a serious game. I am very surprised they're even attempting to do another one of these tournaments. But this is one of the more RNG riddled games that exist, I think. Okay, so that's just, you know, the RNG that exists within the actual fights, within the actual gameplay itself. But then there's, on top of that, RNG that exists with just the system and how they qualify you to move on to the next round. Who do you get matched up against? Do you know, oh, you got unlucky, you queued up against a 70 times God rank player? I guess you're just going to lose the match and you're not going to qualify, right? I mean, that's just RNG. Matchmaking RNG, and that's why I don't really know how they do the matchmaking, but you'll see the first match we played in this video was against just obviously a player who doesn't play the game that often. Maybe he's new to the game, maybe he's returned after not playing for a long time, or whatever the case may be. But what if, okay, what if I get matched up first match? I have 0 matches played, okay? What if I get matched up against the player who's going to eventually win the entire championship and I end up winning against them? I basically deprive that player of having a chance to win because he got unlucky and he got matched up against me. This is actually something that pops up later in this video, which I'll point out. But, you know, RNG in terms of who you get matched up against. Like, what if you go through all 18 matches and every single person you fought was a jabroni? Every single person you fought was just like horrible at the game. They have no idea what's going on. It's possible, right? So it's just RNG in terms of who you get matched up against, matchmaking. Another thing we can talk about is what teams do you get matched up against? What are the teams your opponents are using every single match? If you're using, you know, a double yellow setup, maybe with like Super Vegito and Namek Goku or something, what if you get matched up against like Mono Red or somebody who's running 2 red characters? Cell, Kaioken Goku, and like something else. I don't know, but we know what if that happens? You're just innately going to be at like a huge disadvantage. So that is another layer of RNG when it comes to matchmaking. What team is your opponent using, and is it directly set up to counter your team? This next person might be. No, okay, okay. I think it might be the match after this. So then, you know, there's that. There's also, how do your opponents lose? So just like going into these matches, assuming that you're going to be winning is fine. And the reason why I bring this up is, even if you beat somebody, remember they said one of the criteria for determining who qualifies and who doesn't is if you have the same amount of wins, if you have the same amount of battle power, there's a criteria that is who has done more damage than the other person. How is that? Like, that just seems so stupid to me, because what do you get to like determine how much damage you do each match? What if your opponent simply forfeits the match, like after 10 counts? What if you went through every single one of your matches, you lost, let's just say 2 matches, but the other 16 matches that you won was your opponent just insta forfeiting every single time? Then you would have done like very little damage throughout the course of this qualifier session, right? So, I mean, that's just another layer of RNG on top of that. You're going to be doing very little damage, and if you tie with somebody else who also has 16 wins to determine who moves on to the next round, you're going to end up losing that because you've done 0 damage, essentially. So there's just so much RNG when it comes to matchmaking. Then, again, I talked about the the bots being the God challenge bots, and then, you know, you just combine all that with, like, the time slot limitations this mode has, and I don't really understand what their end goal is with the way that they set this up. I mean, if their actual intention was to have a system to find the best player in the game, this certainly is not the right way to do it. Certainly not. There's like actually like 9 things I would change with this mode. It is not set up well at all. But I think at the end of the day, it is a cool thing that they're trying again. I mentioned this when they talked about this and they announced this for the first time, but this just existing in the game and them having this as like a mode to hype people up, this is going to get more eyes on the game undoubtedly. And so I think that is good, right? This is overall, is this good or bad for the game? I think it's good, the fact that they're doing this. But I think it kind of gives up the wrong impression because, again, this game is not even remotely competitive. Like, this is like, essentially, it's glorified, like, tic-tac-toe. That's what this is. It's just a glorified, like, you know, rock, paper, scissors session. This is not a competitive game whatsoever. So, essentially, what this is it's finding who the luckiest player is, right? Because after a certain point, you're playing this game, you're going to hit the skill ceiling pretty fast. I mean, the skill ceiling is very, very low in this game, and I'm super, super confident in saying that. And you can, you know, make an argument that it isn't, sure. But, I mean, in my experience, this is one of the lowest skill ceiling games that can be marketed as competitive that I've seen pretty much ever, almost. But it is a fun thing that they're doing. It's cool. Them doing another one of these world championships. Again, the last one they did was in 2019, because it was a year after the game dropped. Okay, this is the match, or one of the 2 matches in this video. So this is the 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th. Oh wait, no, maybe it's not this one, huh? Did we already pass the one I'm thinking of? There's, okay, so just a spoiler alert. There's one match where I fight an 18 times God rank player, and he rage quits in the middle. But yeah, like so far, everybody's had pretty respectable teams. I mean, this is a good team right here, right? This is just the Kaioken Goku on Namek Saga or Frieza Saga. Like, this is a good team. And if you're actually creating an environment where you're equally as likely to match up against other players, no matter what like kind of battle rank they are, then I would be kind of surprised that this is like the average kind of player I'm matching up against. I think the way it probably works is it probably tries to match you against players that have similar battle power as you. So if I have like 7 wins or whatever, it's probably going to try and match you up against other players that also have 7 wins, is what I assume is going to be the case here, but we'll see. I might have talked over it. We might have already fought the person who was 18 times God rank or whatever it was. Or maybe the next match. I don't remember exactly, but yeah, he rage quit in the middle, and it really just became, I was actually like about to shut the recording off or stop the screen recording, and then I was like, oh, he's charge stepping. I like, is he still here? And then I realized it's just the God challenge bot AI. It's he did actually rage quit, but it was a different programmed AI, and it's like it's I think what they did is they just copy and pasted the God challenge AI into this, which again, probably the dumbest thing they've done in a long time. All right, so we get rid of this Kaioken Goku. I accidentally clicked Namek Goku there when I wanted to. Just kind of, yeah, this guy's over. Okay, goodbye. What is this next one? Okay, no, this is the guy I was talking about. Okay, so this is... Okay, sorry, no, it's 11 times God rank. Sorry, my bad. 11 times God rank player. What ends up happening in this one is this guy actually rage quits in the middle of this match. 11 times God rank player in session A of the qualifier for this tournament. I mean, I don't know if I can say for sure that this guy would qualify to move on most of the time, but I mean, I think it's pretty fair to say that this guy got pretty unlucky running into me. I mean, yeah, that's just the way it is. I got unlucky. Got matched against, you know, full 14-star, 84 times God rank player. Like, just unlucky, I guess. Like, I don't know. I feel like 9 out of 10 times somebody like this would probably end up qualifying for the next round, but unfortunately he got queued into me, so. And then we'll see an even more substantial case of this later in the video. He's going to transform with Kaioken. Yeah, again, this is the same team we fought last match, which is just Kaioken on Frieza Saga. Again, I've mentioned this in the God rank video, where I talk at length about this team that I'm using versus the one that he has. Obviously, Kaioken Goku is much more of a competent character than Krillin is, but Krillin certainly meshes this Frieza Saga team together better, and the reason why is because Frieza plus Namek Goku, you don't really need a third fighter character in your team. Krillin is just a very good bridge character, and he serves just... I think I got right away with the green here. Yeah. And he just serves to provide the healing, the support, the Extra damage guard. So Krillin is just providing, I think, much more to the overall success rate of the team than Kaioken Goku would be providing. Yeah, so we just get this guy out of here. First life out. KO guard is gone. I think I tackle into the death beam here. He goes full animation, which I didn't think he would do, but that's fine. Again, we just have infinite healing on this team. Alright, we should go to Goku now. And then go back to Frieza in a second, too. Get the cycle to heal in and stuff like that. Yep, there's Frieza now. That's kind of how you play this team. You just, like, switch constantly. It really does kind of remind me of Daima. This guy does a mid-range green. 11 times God rank play right there. Where does the DC come in? Does he DC here? Does he leave now? Rage quit incoming? Again, I kind of feel bad for this guy because, like, again, I think this guy probably 9 out of 10 times should qualify. Alright, we're just gonna rush here. Get rid of his Kaioken Goku. He could guess my rush, and if he does, you know, it could be bad. If it goes to timer, we end up losing the damage because he guesses my rush. That's also RNG, right? And here's the rage quit. So he leaves. That's it. And you'll notice that the bot is just the God rank is the God challenge AI. Look at this. Watch how the bot plays. Back floats, goes for the blast, dashes up. Yeah, dude, this is 100%. He's sidestepping. He's gonna charge step after this blast too. Oh no, he doesn't. He goes to the main. Okay. This is how you can tell this is definitely a bot at this point. It's because no 11 times God, no matter how bad you are, even if you're 11 times God rank, you will never do this. This is a terrible. This is a bot play, 100%. But yeah, watch how this guy plays as the bot. PVs. He starts charge stepping here. Yep, there it is. Like this is intentional. They on purpose went out of their way to go into the code of the game and change this. Think about that. Ridiculous. Alright, so we're just gonna go through the motions and kill this guy and move on. But I just thought it was good to not skip over the bot portion of this fight because this is pretty insane. They decided to do this. Alright, we're just gonna blue card. I think the blue card should kill here. We got the, yeah, he's dead. Got the damage support from filling up the gauge. At this point, we're just, you know, playing against the God Challenge bot. Look at it. Look how he plays. Look at this bot go, dude. All right, he's out of here. This next match, I think, is the big one. I forget. Is it? Yeah, look at this guy. Is that 63 times God rank? Again, this guy, 98% of the time he plays through this qualifier, most likely will qualify to get to the next round. Unfortunately, he queued into me. And by the way, you'll see something very unlucky happens in this match, and I actually thought I was going to lose off of it. You'll see. You'll see. But it could go both ways too, right? It could go for me too. Like I think I would qualify 9 out of 10 times to get into the next round, but you know, unfortunately, I queue into a 63 times God rank player running essentially the same team as me. I guess it's just unlucky. I guess I just lose to matchmaking, right? That's, you know, a huge factor in how the system works. All right, so he's locking Krillin in with Goku. I'm not entirely sure what he's saying in with this guy. Again, a big part of this mirror match is just racking up the damage, and you'll see that's how I end up edging this guy out at the end. But prioritizing just doing damage, because I think most of the time this matchup, if played correctly by both players, where you're cycling the healing in, you're getting Goku's gauge to heal the team, lower sub count, most of the time I think we'll go to timer. I do. And this guy definitely knows what he's doing. He's going for tackles with Frieza with the Death Beam ready. He's comboing the Death Beam in. And this guy is definitely winning at this point in the match. He's doing a really good job here of just continuously using Frieza's Death Beam to gain priority. So this guy's good. I mean, he's a 63 times God rank player. I guess, you know, it's possible that somebody who's 63 times God rank maybe isn't good, but that's probably not true if you played that much. But this guy has shown so far that he is a competent player in this game. Unfortunately, you lost to matchmaking. It's just, at the end of the day, what this is. Right? Unfortunately, you just lost the matchmaking. All right, we're going to Death Beam him. We're just going to keep stacking up the damage. Remember, Frieza is stacking damage here. I'm trying to get a rush at this point. I'm going to go back to Namek Goku, I think, when we can swap out. Actually, no, with Frieza, I stay in because I don't want to waste my Vanish here. Yeah, he keeps going for the tackles there, which is a good play. Eventually, I'm going to catch on to that, though, because if we keep doing that over and over again, it becomes very obvious. Just going to keep cycling Krillin in and out, get the heals going. Yep. So again, he's not going to be able to cut through my team, really. I thought maybe he had a green there and was going to sidestep earlier. Does win the clash, too. There's his rush. That was a good play. Again, this guy really hasn't done anything incorrect so far. He's playing perfectly well. Okay, his rush is going to go through. He's using the Super Vegito sleeves. Okay, I see you. Super Vegito sleeves. Pay to win sleeves, dude. I'm using the true pay to win sleeves though. The Chrono Crystal Lover sleeves. Yeah, 4.7 million on a rush. That you guys know why that happened? It's because he didn't stack enough damage before he rushed. That's a huge mistake. Technically, it is a technical mistake, but it's not really like a fundamental mistake, if that makes sense. Like, it's not a fundamental mistake in the way he's playing. It's a technical mistake in not really understanding the matchup that well, I think, is why he made that error of rushing there. Again, the rush itself is not a misplay. It's just he needed to stack more damage first. All right, here's my Frieza. Built full damage, full offense. We're going to get his gauge here. A big thing with Frieza is just managing the active gauge charge rate, or the just active gauge charge in general. Notice how I dumped the active gauge before I filled up the unique gauge, because otherwise we would have ended up wasting a bunch of the active gauge filling up from the unique gauge filling up. So I just wanted to make sure that I got all this in. We've used a lot of cards so far with Frieza. We're stacking up a lot of damage here. What do you think I'm doing? I'm rushing. Look at our hand. Look at this. 4 strikes. What do you guys think I'm picking? I'm picking strike. Strike is the answer to what I'm picking here. What do you guys think happens here? We get guessed. I thought it was over here. I thought I lost. I have to be a little bit more risky here now, because he gets my rush. So again, there's just RNG everywhere. Oh, I got queued into a 63 times God Ring player. Oh, he gets my rush. Like, it's, you know, it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough to come back from this. But again, I'm prioritizing damage here. I'm being more aggressive. I'm taking more risks than I usually like to take in matches, because I realize that I need to do that in order to come back from the spot. If he guesses my rush, I mean, there's not really much I can do besides just rack up as much damage as possible here. That's what I'm doing. I'm gonna go back to Frieza, use the Death Beam. We have another charge of the Death Beam ready. I also have Goku's main ability up. If I think he's gonna have a second rush ready, I can use Goku's ultimate just as a way to, number 1, rack up some more damage, and then number 2, destroy 2 of his Dragon Balls. It's a pretty powerful effect. All right, so we're just gonna smack him with this. Again, rack up more damage. At this point, I'm thinking I might actually be able to kill him before timer runs out, even though typically this match does go to timer. I think this guy kind of misplayed with that rush play. Frieza taking a hit here is fine. He's going to go with the ult, which is also fine. This is not a bad play by him, but again, I think what he should have prioritized here is just comboing. If he would have just comboed me here more, I think he would have been in a much better spot to win. I don't know why he went for that. Maybe he thought I had a second rush or something. It's possible, but I don't know. I don't think that was the correct play there. Now we're just going to keep swapping. We're going to get Namek Goku's gauge here in a second for more healing. And we're going to go to Frieza for more healing and sub count reduction. Again, you can't kill this team. Like, you just can't. Well, technically you can, but he's not playing the way that you would need to play in order to kill this team. He's playing for timer, is what he's playing for. Which is tough for him, because I've been playing for damage the whole time, and he hasn't really been playing that way. I'm pretty sure we just run away and we win here. So we're just gonna blast him a few times, and that's the match. And I actually end up winning barely here. But that was close, dude. What is that? 2.5 million more damage, something like that. So that really is just... Rush gets guessed. You are pretty much done. But I think I did understand the matchup a little bit better than that guy did, because there's things I would have done differently if I was him and I was in his position. I feel like if he played that a little bit differently, there was a way that he easily could have won that. It's really, really tough to come back and win a match like that in the mirror match situation if your rush gets gassed. It's tough. It's tough. But I mean, think about it. If you're that guy, 63 times God rank, you have the best team in the game. Like, you're coming into this preliminary with 98% you're going to move on to the next round. You're going to move on to the next round. And I think it still is possible for him to move on to the next round. It's not like you lose once and it's over, but I think losing once probably does lower your chances quite a bit. 5% is pretty, like, that's a lot of players. 5%. I think what's probably going to happen is you're probably, as long as I think probably 14 wins is probably enough to let you move on. But once you get into like the 14, 13 win area, at that point, I think it's going to be a little bit more competitive. But that guy is coming into this preliminary. Again, I'm thinking like 98% he's going to move on to the next round. But he lost to matchmaking. I mean, unfortunately, you get matched up against a full 14-star God rank equip, 84 times God rank player. And it's just like an uphill battle that you otherwise wouldn't have had, right? So, all right, this guy's running like a mega juiced version of Frieza Saga. So instead of running like Namekoku, I mean, this guy probably just doesn't have Namekoku. He probably did summon for Namekoku, I don't know. Or maybe just didn't pull him. But this is going to be like super mega damage Frieza build. There's our active gauge ready to go because we got the full unique gauge. We're just going to keep spamming. I mean, it's going to be tough for this guy. I mean, he's essentially running 2 batteries for Frieza. That's what this is. All right, we're gonna go Death Beam here. This is a pretty long combo at this point. I think we just end up with the, we end up going with the blue here. Yeah. We are doing a lot of damage to this guy. I could intentionally try and play this a little bit more conservatively and try and just go for timer. There's actually like a 0% chance this guy wins if we go to timer. There's no way, because he only has one character that can really do damage. I guess technically Revival Frieza could do a little bit of damage after he revives, but it's not. Yeah. Okay, so I had already jumped this guy twice in the match, and I thought he would change up his playstyle, and he didn't. So I guess we'll just jump him forever. But yeah, I mean, his Frieza definitely does a lot of damage. This is not nothing damage coming in here off of Frieza. Yep. And we're going to take a few hits here. We're going to go back to Krillin in a sec, and then we're going to go back to Frieza after that. Lower his power, increase his cost. There's the rush. We go to Frieza now. Don't forget that Krillin lowers sub count when the enemy rushes, even if he's on standby. Oh, we didn't guess his rush. How lucky. How lucky for him. It doesn't matter. This is like one priority for me, and his whole team is annihilated. But yeah, that's essentially the mode. I mean, you know, RNG on top of layers of RNG on top of layers of RNG. So hopefully, if you guys are participating in the World Championship LBR season, you pray to the lords and the gods of RNG that you don't get screwed over every single time. You don't get your rush gassed. You don't queue into full 14-star teams with 84 times God rank players, and don't get fainted, and you can even play the mode at all because maybe it's happening during a time where you can't even log into the game because you're busy with something else. Like, dude, the entire system is just a roulette wheel, and that's really why I don't like the way that they set this up. But to be fair to them, this is a system that I think it would be hard to really perfect at the end of the day. To get essentially what they're doing is they're pooling every single player in the game, and they're choosing the top 5% of every single player in the game. It's hard to really create like a super fair environment for that, but this doesn't even really feel like they tried. This doesn't even really feel like they tried. I intentionally gave up this guy's. I could have went to Krillin there. I just wanted to get the heal off with this and end his combo. Essentially, at this point, I mean, this guy is just, he's lagging here too, yeah. This guy is done. There's not really much else he can do here, so we're just going to go through the motions. He's not forfeiting. I mean, I respect it. I respect it, I guess. And then you'll see the last match. We still have one more match left in this video. We have the 9th match here. The 9th match is just me getting, I think, priority 1s, and the guy just immediately leaves. So, hey, the guy immediately leaves means we basically racked up 0 damage in that match. So if it comes down to, you know, testing, or I guess comparing who did more damage to decide who moves on, that match could decide that I don't move on because the guy forfeited like right away. So I get like almost no damage inflicted in that match. That's another aspect of this, right? But we'll go ahead and wrap up here. Again, one very short match coming in after this for the 9th match. So we do currently have 9 matches, 9 wins. So we are undefeated so far in this. My prediction is going to be, as long as you have 14 wins, or maybe 15 wins. Actually, probably 15. I would say 15 is probably safe to qualify, because 5% is pretty... Like, 5% sounds low, but I think it's more than you would think. 15, maybe 16 wins is probably going to be the cutoff to qualify for the next round. But if you guys have played this so far, let me know how your experience has gone. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.